Let's bring in Jim Press. He's executive advisor at Hyundai North America, former president at Chrysler. Jim, what does GM do here?
Well, I think they're still in the catbird seat. They have a very little downside risk. You know, they're going to get paid to build factories. They're going to get paid to build vehicles. They're getting technology. They're going to put their batteries to work. It's a great test bed for them. And they also get all the credits. I think 80% of the credits from the sales. So the deal was really very favorable for GM. It probably had, I heard estimates of a couple $2 billion worth of value. So it doesn't surprise me that with these changes and the complete 60% downslide on stock from the equity, that they're renegotiating, and they should, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen unless they find a fact where they can't get negotiations restarted.
You said there's very little downside for GM, Jim, but and I get that they're not putting up money here and that they would get a stake and access to all the manufacturing and everything. But what about the reputational harm? If Nikola continues to spiral and we do see these investigations yield something, I'm not saying that it's a fraud, but it has been accused of one, and we continue to see headlines like this, at what point does it have a ripple effect on GM and its ability to do due diligence?
Well, they're going to make money from manufacturing them. But the fact is, you're right, it's a PR black eye. And, you know, Sarah, that's part of the SPACs. It's where the intersection of the traditional technology companies and this new era of technology companies come together. You remember Toyota had a deal originally with Elon Musk building Teslas, and it couldn't sustain. It had some PR fallout. But from a standpoint of strategic balance and value to GM, with Steve Gursky involved, I'm sure they did diligence. You know, Mary Barra, they're very, very careful when they look into the technology, the business case. But the PR fallout, that's real. I don't know how bad it can get until this goes forward. But the deal itself makes enough sense. And perhaps without Trevor Milton, as Phil said, it could be a pretty good deal if GM gets a much bigger share of equity and control of the company. And it's good technology. Fuel cell technology for large trucks, to me, is the future. It's the holy grail. Batteries just can't carry a heavy vehicle like that. So they're trying to get the right deal done.
More equity, perhaps, that they might get, albeit equity that's a lot less valuable than it was just a couple of weeks ago. But, Jim, pivoting from this whole debacle, is this just a sign that none of the legacy automakers can really challenge the successful standalone EV makers like Tesla, and that they're just still an unbelievably long way behind?
Yeah. That's the mind of the investors, the mind of the consumers. You know, Tesla is a technology company, and when you see their vehicle shot into space on a rocket ship, it changes the perception of the business and the company. GM really has tried to recreate itself with spin-offs. All of them are, and the fact of the matter is, it's where the board of directors and the individual entrepreneurs come together, and it's really difficult. And I think you're right. It's very hard for them to recreate themselves. They actually have to plant a new Genesis company and begin with their assets, put them in a different organization, and start a new technology company of their own.
Jim Press, always good to get your perspective. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.